Hello, America, and welcome to a special Black Friday edition of Just the News, No Noise. I'm your host, John Solomon, reporting to you from the nation's capital, where it's pretty quiet. So today we're going to issue some of the big news and give you some tips on how you can get your holiday shopping done, maybe not even have to leave your couch. We got some incredible vendors here at Real America's Voice at Just the News. They've got great products, great services, great ideas for Christmas, and oh, by the way, most importantly, great discounts, because we got used to Black Friday and Cyber Monday discounts. Well, Just the News and Real America's Voice, we got our own discounts to offer you today. We're going to walk you through some ideas. We'll sprinkle some news in, including with our first guest today, Dr. Peter McCullough, who always brings it when it comes to health and the trust that we've lost in some of our public health establishments. I want to bring in my amazing co-host, Amanda Head. I know a lot of people are coming home. They're tired from a full day of shopping that might have started in the wee hours of the morning. We got some easy ways to get some gifts delivered to your door, man. I'm kind of looking forward to doing something a little different tonight.
Yeah, John, I think back, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy because I know that sometimes these days, these Black Fridays went haywire, but I think back to the 90s or the 80s when people would, stand and wait in line at Best Buy or Walmart or any of the many toy stores that used to exist. And it kind of makes me sad. I understand the commerce thing online. I know that it is a great thing to have. I know that the convenience is wonderful. But I just kind of miss that. I miss waking up in the morning. Now, Canada still has something similar. They have Boxing Day the day after Christmas, and people still typically go in person for those types of things. But here, pretty much any deal that you can get in person, you can get online. And I think that there is even an incentive for businesses to have people shop online instead of coming into the stores anyway, because that got, frankly, a little dangerous for their store workers. But this commences an entire week of shopping. We've got Black Friday today. Of course, people will be shopping through the weekend, Cyber Monday, and then one of my favorites, Giving Tuesday. And John, I know you and I both have some of our favorite charities out there. Tunnel to Towers is one that we both really love over here at JustNews. Absolutely. And Giving Tuesday, I think, is the perfect culmination of what can tend to be a very capitalist commercial set of shopping days. Ending it with something good like that, I think, is to the benefit of everyone involved.
One of my first Black Friday memories is I was working as a deputy sheriff over the holiday period, and a fight broke out at a store in Connecticut over a Cabbage Patch doll because people had waited in line to get Cabbage Patch dolls. Now, that's a long time ago. But it was a reminder of things to come. Pretty crazy memory. But I remember it like it was yesterday, though I never really wanted a Cabbage Patch doll. I just want to be clear about that.
Yeah,
all right, Amanda, we got a great show. Yeah, didn't want one.
Go ahead.
Didn't want one. No, we got a great show today. Yeah. I was more into the football and baseball thing. But, we got a great show. We had a great discussion the other day with Dr. Peter McCullough. We had it short a little bit because of some breaking news. We're going to play that in its entirety, not only because the Wellness Company has great products for this season that make you healthier and to of course for health, but Dr. McCullough and what he's doing to educate us about vaccines, about public health safety, it's a great public service, and we're always grateful when he makes time for us. That's how we're going to kick off our show. Take a watch of what we talked about. All right, folks, we got a great way to kick off the show. One of the most important changes quietly made by the government when it comes to the issue of autism, something close to my heart. As you all know, I have a son who's autistic. Joining us now to break it all down, he's a world-renowned doctor and chief scientific officer at our great partner, the Wellness Company. He's also the author of a book everybody should read, Vaccines, Mythology, Ideology, and Reality. Go get that book. It's an amazing read. I've read it twice now. Our good friend, Dr. Peter McCullough. Sir, good to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
All right, you spotted something huge. It happened in the last 24 hours. The CDC has changed its information on its website regarding autism and vaccines. Tell us what you found and what it may signal.
Without any press briefing at all, the CDC has made a dramatic change on their website regarding their statements. And the CDC now says that prior studies that have denied the link between childhood vaccination and autism are not evidence-based. They're not valid. And the timing of this is, honestly, is very, very consistent with the CDC. Reading the McCullough Foundation report, we published the most comprehensive report on autism on October 27th, 2025. It's already received over 200,000 downloads and reads from the European Commission preprint server. We sent the report to the CDC, HHS, and all the officials. And now, 3 weeks later, the CDC has essentially read our report and knows that there are compelling sources of information compiled, that the prior studies were misleading. There are 29 studies that claim that there was no link between vaccines and autism. Not a single one of those studies examined the vaccine record, talked to the parents, or examined the children. And they didn't have clear control groups. Now we have well over 100 studies pointing to the link. And so the CDC and HHS say now they're going to start their own investigation, and we applaud them for doing so.
That is huge.
Dr. McCullough, how does a study exist, or how does it exist as a study on the effects of vaccines with respect to the propensity of autism if they're not looking at the vaccine record? They're not. How does that even exist? That's not a study.
No, they're using automated sources of data, and I think, honestly, they're almost intentionally doing what's called a type 2 error, that is, failing to find the effect when it's there. But it's those studies, Amanda, that Senator Bill Cassidy and Maggie Hassan and Bernie Sanders, they held up at the Senate hearings back when RFK and others went through. They were holding these up as definitive proof that vaccines, aren't linked to autism. And it's obvious they didn't read any one of these studies. Now there are 12 well-done research studies in the modern day showing a healthy child born today is healthier if they remain completely unvaccinated.
That's just stunning. All right, so I think this gets at something that you have done a lot to educate our audience about, and that is the unholy relationship, this sort of revolving door, you scratch my back, I scratch you back world of Big Pharma and the regulators who are supposed to regulate Big Pharma. Is there some financial influence that causes these studies to be doctored this way, or to sound more compelling than they actually are because they're protecting the people that might one day give them a job?
Oh, that's almost certainly the case. I mean, look at former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb, now on the board of Pfizer, pushing the Pfizer vaccine. Stephen Hahn, former FDA Commissioner, on Flagstone, that's Pioneer, which is the venture capitalist organization supporting Moderna. So this corruption is wide open. Vaccines are over $100 billion annual business. More than half of that the government purchases. And there is so much corporate interest in making sure that this vaccine, freight train continues on America's children, that they'll do anything to protect these revenue streams. The autism skyrocketed after 1986, the Vaccine Injury Compensation Act, when the companies incredulously were given immunity from liability. And mothers and fathers the entire time have said, wait a minute, they've seen their kids born normal convert to an autism phenotype after a big battery of vaccines. Finally, it looks like the CDC quietly is listening, prompted by the McCullough Foundation.
Yeah, you drove this. Your research drove this. It's a very important thing to remind people.
Yeah, so for moms and dads out there, or future moms and dads out there, when they are considering the vaccine schedule, you want to trust the information coming out from the CDC, but as we have seen on the flip-flopping, or the change that we saw yesterday, I don't know if you can trust the health agencies. Who do you trust?
I think the World Council for Health is a very reasonable organization to look to. They're an alternative to the WHO. And in 2023, they posted guidance called Safer to Wait. That is, it's safer to wait on vaccines. There's no urgency with a child born today who's healthy. You simply need the mother, normal breastfeeding, normal infancy and development. And vaccines are far safer when they're given later in life, particularly beyond the development of neurologic development and immunologic development, typically beyond age 4. They're far safer when they're given individually. And of course, if the burden of vaccines is less, there's less chance for side effects. But a recent paper by Vesuvian and colleagues in JAMA Open Network indicates 60% of young parents now are going to skip the vaccine schedule or decline a lot of it.
Wow.
That is remarkable. And I want to go back to something you said because I think this is fascinating. Did you say that almost half of the $100 billion a year in vaccines revenues that drug makers come from the taxpayers and the American government?
That's correct. We have very liberal criteria for filling the gap, that if insurances refuse to pay or if it's not covered through Medicare, Medicaid, what have you, the government actually provides vaccines free of charge. So, everyone is offered vaccines. And I think it's very important. The new administration has reiterated that people will always have access to vaccines. But the big move here now is, with this revelation, is individual freedom of choice, personal choice. And, I think Florida is leading the way. Surgeon General Joe Ladapo wants to remove all school requirements for vaccines. And I think this is very important. It must be a decision between the doctor and the patient, knowing the potential side effects.
Okay, so if half of that revenue comes from the taxpayers and the government via the taxpayers, obviously, how does President Trump's initiatives to decrease pharmaceutical prices play into this? Because at the end of the day, it is a pharmaceutical product. Does that affect it at all?
That's a good point. And, I give high marks to Trump and Kennedy on not only this, I think fair capitulation by the CDC on this risk, but also on their broader initiatives to lower the cost of prescription drugs. And we're talking about branded prescription drugs, which Americans unfairly pay a much higher price than European or Canadian counterparts. So those products certainly are going to come down in price, which is great. I mean, I prescribe them in my practice. I want access to these for problems like rheumatoid arthritis and psoriasis, et cetera. But in this negotiation so far, to my knowledge, there hasn't been anything about lowering the costs of vaccines. Again, that's kind of a backdoor negotiation. It's a direct government procurement by and large, and then insurance companies purchase them as well. But vaccines are a very, very big biopharmaceutical business. I think costs should be looked at there. And if less vaccines are utilized, then of course costs are going to come down.
Yeah. So I think this is why so many people began to have distrust in their system. COVID, obviously, we always trusted our doctors, and COVID said, I'm not so sure, but you opened up a whole new way of doing medicine, focusing on holistic and natural products. Tell us a little bit about what the Wellness Company is doing. People are getting ready for Christmas. You've got all these incredible products. There's another way to look at this. Tell us some of the things that you've been able to get into the marketplace.
Yeah, as the Chief Scientific Officer of the Wellness Company, I can tell you the Wellness Company has been one of the great positive news stories coming out of the pandemic. A nationwide company offering telemedicine, nutraceuticals, products, medical emergency kits, health education. And some of the new products now are absolutely blockbuster, including one a product that is being used for pain control. And it utilizes methylene blue, but as well as peptides and topical analgesics. I've tried it myself. It's absolutely amazing. There are now hormone boosters and balancers for men and women that don't involve injections and don't involve synthetic hormones. So these are natural products to balance the hormonal system in the body. Products that we believe will improve longevity, as well as detoxify the body from microplastics. So take a look at our new product line here over the holidays, and I think you're going to be surprised.
It's an amazing company, and you're revolutionizing medicine, and you're restoring the doctor-patient relationship, which got so broken during COVID. Such an honor, as always, to have you show. Congratulations for the work the McCullough Foundation did, and of course, the work that the Wellness Company does. We've got a fantastic partnership, and we're really grateful for it, sir. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to have you. All right, folks, just in time to jump into the holiday season, we've got a very special offer for you. If you go today to TWC.health/JustNews, that's TWC.health/news, you can get up to 25% off store-wide. This is sort of a Black Friday special, incredible opportunity. Go do it today. Go check out the incredible products that Dr. McCullough was talking about. Men and I both use a lot of their great products. They're just an amazing partner. We believe in them. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. More right after these messages. Hey America, the FBI has been warning about a type of real estate fraud on the rise called home title theft, and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on a single document, use a fake notary stamp, then file it with the county, and just like that, boom, they're on record as owning your home. Using your ownership, they then take out loans against your equity or even sell your property, and you're not going to know about it until you get a foreclosure or collection notice in the mail, and that's not going to be a good moment. That's why I partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can protect your equity and find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code JTN at HometitleLock.com. You'll get a free title history report and a free trial. Their $1 million triple lock protection. That's a great deal. $1 million to protect your home. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud occurs, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. Find out why I trust Home Title Lock. Protect yourself like I did. Don't be a victim. Protect your equity today. Go to HometitleLock.com and use that promo code JTN. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code JTN.